How are we doing all here? It's just Stipe back here to do another supplement review. For today's review, we've got the Ghost Legend, and it's the Max Chewing edition, which is the strawberry or strawbango margarita flavor that they've come up with. Now, I'm going to start off by saying I think I've reviewed Legend V2, not V1, back maybe last year or something along those lines. Looking at the labels, they're just a little bit different. It's not too big of a difference though. So I think the main thing that they've changed is this doesn't have Alpha Yo, and then the original one had Senective, and then instead of having Senective, this one has Vasodrive. So that's kind of just off the bat the kind of minor differences, or you could say major when Alpha Yo is involved. Alrighty, let's get started with the flavor. So it's this strawbango margarita. Now, not a fan of margaritas, not really a fan of anything alcohol related, to be honest. Don't drink it at all. But this has to be the most unique flavor I've ever tried of any pre, and for good reasons. So it's almost hard to explain. I have tried a margarita before. I think it's somewhat similar to a really good quality margarita. It's definitely more of a strawberry taste. And it's one of those where it tastes better in like 150 to 200 mils of water as opposed to 300 to 400. It really is a tasty drink. I've had a few of my friends try it. I mean, this is like a daily driver. So if you look, there's almost nothing left. I think it's like 3 servings max left. You really won't dislike this flavor unless you just hate strawberry or hate margarita-ish type flavor. I don't know how they managed to flavor it so well, but they did a damn good job. Alrighty, let's look at the label. We start off with L-citrulline vegan fermented at 4 grams, perfect amount. I don't think you need any more. Beta alanine at 3.2 grams. Once again, another perfect amount. That's the supposed scientific amount that you need and studied amount that you need. You got nitrosogene, which is arginine silicate. I love that ingredient. That's 1.5 grams. And then Vasodrive at 254. So this is basically your like pump kind of complex. Then you got your Ghost Smart Energy, which is L-tyrosine at 1 gram, taurine at 1 gram, alpha GPC, 300 milligrams. That's at 50% standardized as well, so you really only get 150 milligrams. That is a little bit lower, but I don't think there's really as much of a amount you need compared to what works, where it's sourced, etc. You got 250 milligrams of natural caffeine, which I do like to see, and I'll get to that soon. You got Neurofactor at 100 milligrams, theobromine at 100 milligrams, both really good ingredients. I specifically do love theobromine. I don't really know how to tell you Neurofactor in terms of what it does. Like, I know what it's meant to do. It's meant to provide a little bit of energy. It's a nootropic, but I've never tried it enough, with and then without a product to be able to truly give you like it does this or it doesn't do that type of thing. Theobromine, I definitely know works well. It's one of my favorite ingredients. I drink raw cacao. That's like just, one of my go-tos. And then to round it up, estrogen, 50 milligrams, just to, supposedly let the ingredients sink in and digest a little bit earlier. I'm going to first start off by saying how I enjoyed this and what I think it's for, and then in terms of comparison. So how I enjoyed this was as a daily driver. This is not a stimhead, blow your fucking socks off pre-workout. This is one of those you can take regularly. And one of the things that I really like about it is that they use natural caffeine. How much of a difference maker that is, I am not too sure. I just find that whenever I've got my pre-workouts with natural caffeine, they just tend to be a little bit more of a, you go in there, you work out, it lasts for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then you're kind of good. There's no drawback to it at all. Is it definitely the fact that it's natural caffeine compared to not, natural caffeine, like caffeine anhydrous synthesizer, or however you want to put it? I don't know. It could be so many other factors. I've taken 100 plus pre-different workouts before, but it's hard to really know. But this is definitely a very safe pre-workout. It's one of those, you take it, there's nothing that's going to bother you with it. It's very straightforward and it does what it's meant to do. The pumps on it are very good. I find the pumps to be very, very good. Ghost to me is known for their pumps. I like the pumps in the original Legend V2, and on top of that, I thought that their Ghost pump was one of the better pump formulas that has come out. So pumps are good. Energy is very smooth and simple. There's no heart racing, gotta get shit done type of energy. It's just simple. It really does feel like 2 cups of coffee. Some people might see that as like a bad thing. I see that as a good thing, because do you really need, 400 milligrams of caffeine, etc., every single workout? I don't believe you do. The nootropic element is nice and smooth. It's nothing major. And this is where maybe the alpha GPC could be higher and all that jazz. But for the most part, you're kind of getting what you want with this. You're not getting Ghost Legend V2, Max Chewing Edition because you want to go in there and feel like an animal. You're getting this because you want something that tastes good, is consistent, which it is every single time. I've probably taken this 15 times myself. My partner's taken it maybe 4 or 5 times, and I've had a mate take it once or twice, and everybody's enjoyed it. Nobody has said it's the best pre-workout they've ever taken, but everybody's been on the same kind of like, yeah, this just does the job. My partner takes it at like a scoop and a half. I take it at full serving. Obviously, she's quite a bit smaller than me, so for her, she doesn't really need 250 milligrams of caffeine, let alone the pump ingredients, etc. To compare this to the one that I tried, Legend V2, now mine did not have alpha-yohimbine either, because I live in Australia. Alpha-yohimbine, for whatever reason, is banned here. But what I did notice is this one didn't have the thermogenic effect. And they had a different ingredient which they swapped out for the Australian one instead of the Alpha-Yo. But whatever that was, I feel like gave me much more of a sweat. And it's definitely noticeable because last time I took this, the consistency was there. So the original V2 that I took was in summer, and this is like a year ago, in the last year's summer. This year's one I've taken in summer once again, because it's, well, just summer just finished here, but you can definitely notice that there's less of a thermogenic effect. Now, that might be a good thing, that might be a bad thing. I will admit that I do prefer having it there, especially for a daily driver. Getting that nice sweat in, for me, is actually quite an enjoyable feel. Some people don't like it, but I feel like that whole sweat element is no different than people that like or dislike beta-alanine. Some people can't work out without it. Some people can't work out with it. I think this is honestly a very well-rounded pre-workout. Pumps hit hard. Beta's nice and smooth and it's consistent. It feels like it hits you for, let's just say, 45 minutes straight. There's no like 10 minutes of crazy fucking scratching your eyeballs out. And there's no like 2 minutes of nothing and then 40 minutes of fucking too much and, dislikable, etc. I do think that's typically, though, to do with niacin, not to do with beta-alanine. But it's also not one that hits you only for a short time really hard and then just disappears. To me, it's very smooth. It's very simple. Who would I recommend this for? I think this is like a general jack of all trades pre-workout. If you're new to the gym and you want a little boost, you can get this scoop, scoop and a half, 2 scoops, whatever you prefer. What's your tolerance? You find out. If you're somebody who's really into your bodybuilding, I do think this is a good bodybuilding pre-workout. I don't think you need, if you're working out 5-6 times a week, I don't think you really want to be abusing yourself with the, Kilo Labs, the Defiance, the Excelsiors, all those type of pre-workouts. Maybe here and there, but in general, you can take this before work, you can take this after. I've taken this at 6:30 p.m. at night and I've fallen asleep by 9:30. So I don't think this really has any negatives. If you want to give this a shot, I definitely recommend it. I don't think you'll dislike it. I don't think it'll blow your socks, but I think it's going to be one that you go, you know what? I feel like taking Ghost Legend today because it's very straightforward. Hope you enjoyed that review. That's me signing out. Peace.